Dear students, till now we have drawn our schematic in a section-wise approach, which means that on the left side you can see these are all the sheets that we have added in our schematic, and in each sheet we have added a circuit. Like if you go to power sheet, we have added two other sheets like indication and the regulator. If we enter into indication sheet, we have these two LEDs, and if we go towards the regulator side, the regulator sheet, then we have this regulator in this sheet. And if we check this subsheet MCU, then we have used Arduino Uno as for our study purpose. Now it's time to connect all these sheets with one another so that the entire sheets join to form a complete schematic. In order to do that, let's go to the root sheet, and in the power sheet over here you see that in the regular sheet we have used two hierarchical labels, 5 volt output and 12 volt input. The first thing we need is to import these hierarchical labels over here in this regulator subsheet symbol. This is the regulator subsheet symbol. In order to import the hierarchical label we have used in this sheet over here in the symbol, we use a tool on the right side over here. It says import hierarchical sheet pins. So click over here and then click on the sheet in which you want to import those labels. So I want to import the hierarchical labels of the regulator sheet. Then just click over here and you can see we have used 5 volt output hierarchical label in the regulator sheet, and that label is now imported in this symbol. So you can you have to connect this on the outer boundaries of this symbol. So let's just click over here and it will then pick the next label that we have used, that is 12 volt V in hierarchical label in the regulator sheet. So let's just click over here and it says no new hierarchical label found, as we have used two hierarchical labels in the regulator sheet and we have imported those labels in this regulator sheet subsheet symbol. Similarly, let's import hierarchical labels of the indication sheet. For doing that, again go over here on this import hierarchical label hierarchical sheet pins, click over here and click in this sheet, as it has this 5 volt indication hierarchical label. So just click over here and it has only a single hierarchical label, that is why it didn't pick the any other hierarchical label. And the second label we have used in this, it was a global label which we have already discussed its connection with the MCU. So let's go to power sheet. Now you can see that we have imported the hierarchical pins from the regulator sheet as well as from the indication sheet. Now it's time that this 5 volt V output should be connected with this indication LED, or in the other word you can say that this regulator pin out, pin number 3, should be connected with this indication LED. So the next step is over here in the power sheet, let's just select it, move, and let's place it over here. Now for doing that, first of all let me show you that this is the regulator sheet. Let's highlight this net, click over here, and I want to connect this with this one. As you can see that this didn't get highlighted as it is not connected with the pin in regulator. So let's go to power over here. In the power sheet, let's just wire these two sheets together. Over here, this is the 5-volt output from the regulator sheet. Let's connect to the 5-volt indication. Now the output of regulator is now connected with the indication LEDs. So let's just save it and let me show you by using the net highlight tool. Click over here and let's click over here and let's check this in indication. You can see that its color has changed, which means that this resistor and LED circuit is now connected with this regulator, and these both sheets, the indication sheet and the regulator sheet circuit of this 5-volt is connected using these hierarchical pins of the regulator 5-volt output and the hierarchical pin 5-volt IND from the indication, and both sheets are joined using this wire. So in this way we connect the hierarchical pins with the other hierarchical pins in another sheet. Similarly, you can see over here that we have a 12-volt. Similarly, let's go towards the root sheet. What we next want to do is we want to connect this 12-volt. Let's say we will have, let me just connect ground over here and a ground over here, and let's just wire this up with this one and with this one. So if the 12 volts are applied to pin number 1, they should go to this power pin. So let's import hierarchical labels from the power pin. This will give us that there are no labels, because let me just show you. Click over here on import hierarchical pins and click over. It says no new hierarchical label found, because we have not used any hierarchical label over here. So for using the hierarchical labels over here, what we need to do is let's just place this hierarchical label and let's name it from 12-volt DC and click OK, and let's just rotate it and place over here, and let's wire this hierarchical label with this 12-volt in, which is to the input of regulator, 5-volt regulator. Let's just save this. Similarly, go to root sheet. Now if I click over import hierarchical pins and click over here, this will give me this label, 12-volt DC label, which we have just used in our power sheet. So let's just click over here and let's just wire this up. Click over here and let's join this with this one. Now you can see that 12-volt from the pin number 1 is connected to the power regulator sheet, and in the power regulator sheet 12-volt is connected towards the regulator sheet, and in regulator sheet it is connected to 7805. You can check this by using highlight tool. Click over here, let's highlight this net, go to root sheet. You see it is now highlighted, this one is highlighted, this one is highlighted, which means our 12-volt from the input connector of the schematic is now fed to the regulator 7805. Similarly, let's import the hierarchical pins from the MCU. Right click on this, and you can also use this import sheet pins, and you can see over here it says MCU 5-volt pin, which we have used in the MCU subsheet. So let's double click it. You can see we have used one global label, and this one is the hierarchical pin which we have used in the MCU, which is now imported into our root sheet. Now the next thing is that we want to give 5 volt to this MCU, and the 5 volt was generated in the power sheet in this regulator sheet. So this 5 volt are have reached over here and are given to indication sheet, but we need to feed this 5 volt to the MCU sheet also. For doing that, let's use another hierarchical label, and let's say MCU 5 volt. You can give any name depending upon your convenience. So let's just click OK, and let's just place it over here. Let's just change its symbol and say it as it is out and is fed to the MCU. So let's just wire this up, click over here and join over here. And now we have used another hierarchical label in our power sheet. So let's go to root sheet and let's import the remaining 5 volt hierarchical label over here. Now till now, if I highlight the MCU 5 volt, this one pin, as it is not connected anywhere, you will see that this label is only highlighted. If you go into power side, no 5 volt net is not highlighted. So in order to make a connection, we need to do is we need to connect this MCU 5 volt from the regulator or from the power section of the schematic to the MCU 5 volt. So let's just wire it up, click over here and let's just click over here. Now let's save our work, let's highlight this and see if 5 volt is applied to MCU or not. Let's go to MCU. You can see it's now highlighted, which means 5 volt is connected to MCU. If we go towards the indication, 5 volt is connected with the indication circuitry. We go to regulator, it's connected with the regulator. In the power section, we have the indication and the regulator sheet circuit is now complete. Now the next thing is we have to also give this 5 volt to this connector also. So let's just use local label. As we have discussed hierarchical labels, global labels, let's just use a local label. For using a local label, we have to use this add a net label. Click over here and let's give 5 volt local and hit OK and just place it over here, and let's just wire it up and let's just make a copy of this 5 volt and let's just place it over here on this wire and save it. Now let's see if 5 volt are now connected using local label. Click on this. Now you can see that this 5 volt, this pin number 1 is connected with this 5 volt using the local label. So what we have done is we have first of all used global label, this one global label, which means that they are connected, they makes connection anywhere in the schematic regardless of either its root sheet or parent sheet or subsheet. It makes connection regardless of these constraints. But if we use hierarchical labels like this one, then what we need to do is we need to import these labels in our subsheet labels, subsheet symbol. This is our subsheet symbol. We need to import these hierarchical labels. Like in regulators we have imported these two hierarchical labels. In indication we have imported these hierarchical labels. After importing the hierarchical labels, then we need to make a connections between the subsheets using wires. You can even use labels on these wires as well. So In the root sheet, we have also used the local label 5 volt, which makes connection over the in the sheet in which it is used. Let's say if I copy this 5 volt local label and go to MCU, and let's just paste it over here, and I just place it over here, and let's make a wire connection with this. And if I highlight this, and you can see it is only highlighted over here, but if let me highlight again, and if I go to root sheet, you can see these are not highlighted because we have these labels are local labels and they are only confined to the sheet in which these are used, like over here. But if I again copy and paste, and uh, let's just for the sake of understanding, I connect over here. You can see it is now highlighted like this one. So as you can see, this local label has the same name as that we have used over here, but they are used in a different sheets, so they are not connected with one another. So we have seen that how we design our complex schematic having multiple sheets, how we use hierarchical labels, what is the scope of all these three type of label: local label, global label, and hierarchical label, how we import them in the schematic symbol, and how we make connection with one another, are the connections, how we make connections between the sheet symbols.